Hello, I'm Metagross Freak, and welcome to another Transformers video where I'm taking a look at Titan's Return, Wingspan, and Cloudraker. And you can even tell just from the packaging that the robot modes are very similar, and that's because they are remolds of each other. While they have some similarities, they are not they have very, very similar molds and almost identical engineering. However, this is the really cool part. In canon, Wingspan and Cloudraker are not individual characters. Cloudraker is a clone of his brother Fastclash, and Wingspan is a clone of his brother Pounce. Here's what the cool thing is, though. Wingspan, Pounce, Cloudraker, and Fastclash all share this robot mode. However, they turn into different things. Wingspan, as you can see, turns into kind of a falcon. Cloudraker turns into kind of a spaceship / jet. Cloudraker's brother, Fastclash, turns into a kind of a Formula One style race car. And then Wingspan's brother, Pounce, turns into kind of like a panther or tiger. So yeah, we get 4 alternate modes from just one generic robot body, which is actually really neat. As a side note, I do kind of, I at first thought that Cloudraker was actually Power Glide. See, I got into Transformers during the Armada stage of the Unicron trilogy. I later found out this wasn't Power Glide, of course, but I still at that point had been sold on the character. Right, so let's take them out of the box and take a look. Cloudraker and Wingspan are very, very similar. They have almost identical joints here with 90-degree hinges in the knees, ball joints in the shoulders, elbows, and hips. They have a thigh swivel, and the heads can swivel, though it is pretty tight. As part of the transformation, they also have these kind of swivels here to allow their arms to fold forward, though that just appears to be transformation joints. However, when we turn them around is where we see the differences. For example, we can see Beast Mode Kibble for Cloudraker's head, talons. We can see the wings on the side and the tail on the back. Meanwhile, for Cloudraker, we can see that the wings are folded up, actually giving him some foot articulation, which is kind of cool. We can see the cockpit, and looks like a little bit of a fin that'll fold out. So yeah, I mean, they are very, very similar. Not identical, though. And I kind of wish I had the other 2 twins, or the other 2 clones, just so we could compare all 4 of them. That'd be really cool. I love the color schemes. The kind of off-white with the teal and the navy blue is really nice. And the red with the off-white is really nice because it's a really bold red. And it's got a little bit of a silver in it too. One really neat thing is that they have symbols on their torsos that, let me see if I can get this on camera. I need to make the camera a bit brighter. You can see they have images, on their torsos which resemble rub signs, but feature images of their alt modes. Wingspan, you can see, has a falcon, or like an eagle or something, and then Cloudraker's kind of looks a little bit like a spaceship. It's not a great spaceship, but it at least looks like his alt mode, so that's kind of cool. I like both these little guys. I don't really know that much about the characters, so I can't really talk about them too much. Here are their cards for Wingspan. Nice looking artwork. Some decent looking stats. Cloudraker has some nice looking artwork and decent looking stats. What is up with the Legends class figures for some in like Titan's Return and all being pretty much in their vehicle modes? It's just kind of weird. And just because we need to have some kind of a comparison to robots other than each other, here they are with, also from Titan's Return, Sea Spray! You mean, they're both a little bit bulkier than Sea Spray, but, I mean, Sea Spray turns into a boat, so, you know, that's to be expected. Right, here is Cloudraker and Wingspan in their alternate modes, and, you know, honestly, I think they do a pretty good job. The minor differences in their engineering do allow them to take on slightly different modes. You can see Cloudraker here forms this nice kind of red jet. There is some minor different reds. There's a slightly dimmer red and a slightly darker red at the hips and I guess forearms respectively. Also, it has a landing gear, which is kind of cool, though it is completely optional. You can flip it in. There's also a 5mm peg, which is kind of neat. But, I mean, one interesting thing I wanted to note was that it's got this weird detail in that there are these, I don't know, there's this decoration here that on the inside of the back jets, which resembles to me like kind of like a cockpit, like for a plane, and yet it's not used on this mold. I thought that was kind of interesting, because it looks like that would fold over on the sides to make kind of like an extended cockpit, but that isn't used. But I think overall it's a fairly decent pancake jet. And then Wingspan. Wingspan is very long, but yeah, I mean, he turns into a pretty decent falcon. He's got a good amount of underbelly, but they kind of pass it off in both artwork and through the coloration as being just really chunky thighs. Pretty decent. Now, what's really cool about these characters is not only do they scale perfectly well with other Legends class figures, here you can see Sea Spray again, they scale perfectly well, but they, because it's Titan's Return, have Titan Master functionality. You can see, for example, here I have flywheels, aka Sky Tread, and they have little pegs, him on the back of his cockpit. Let's see here. To fit a Titan Master. It's not a perfect fit. For example, you can see he doesn't fit too well. It's a very loose fit. And then there's one on the back behind Wingspan's head. There we go. See, it isn't great, but it's functionality. So you can put, theoretically, or Titan Masters or Prime Masters here, and have functionality with both of them. And just for fun, in case you're wondering, here's what happens if we try to fold Wingspan into a jet. It just becomes this horrible, garbled, and this would be the jet. It just is this horrible, garbled mess, which is basically just the upside down of a Pidgey using wing attack. And here is Cloudraker in the form of a hawk. I basically just followed the instructions for the wrong robot. But yeah, this isn't too bad. It looks kind of like something you might see out of Star Wars. It's not really great, but yeah. Just thought it'd be fun. Honestly, Wingspan and Cloudraker are actually pretty decent bots. Their alt modes are kind of cool, and they've got enough kind of posability that you can get some interesting poses out of them. I mean, there are some deluxe classes that can't even do some of these poses, or at least not as well as they can. I would say definitely pick them up if you're able to find them. These two Legends class figures cost about as much as a single deluxe, so if they interest you, I'd recommend it. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I've been MetaGrossFreak, and I'll see you in the next video.